Hey guys, welcome to Chopper History today, brought to you by India Motorcycles and Law Tigers. We have a really good show for you today with one of my favorite land speed, I would say my favorite land speed racer, Jay Allen. But before we
Who
get to,
was one of the many mentors.
he was my mentor, definitely. But we'll get to all that. I want to mention I've had a bunch of people, local guys, ask about our bike nights. We will be having our bike nights this year. So June, July, and August. It's the third Wednesday. So the first one is June 21st. The second one is July 19th. And then the third one is August 16th. So to remember, the third Wednesday of June, July, and August, they're here at our shop in Halifax. So if you guys are local, come on down. We have food trucks, vendors. We usually give away a ton of stuff. We have a band. It's definitely a good destination. If you're not so local, plan the trip and come on down to our bike nights.
Yeah, we have this past year, we've been having between 300 and 500 bikes on our bike night, and everybody loves it. People start getting here around 5, and then it's done by dark. When it gets dark, everybody's gone.
Yeah, so it's usually 5 to 8. It's not a long period of time, but we get a really good crowd. There's a ton of bikes here, so we are family friendly. If you want your family to come, that's okay too. It's a really good time. So it's the third Wednesday of June, July, and August here at our shop in Halifax. I also want to mention the Kyle Petty ride. People keep asking me, here is the stops. If any of you guys are in any of these areas, you can go to the Kyle Petty's website, which is kylepettycharityride.com, and they have like specific times that we will be at these stops. So if you guys want to come out and see us, get Kyle or Richard's autograph, there's a bunch of other NASCAR people that are going to be on the ride with us. This should be a really good trip. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't express what a cool family the Petty family is. They're just great people. They're down to earth. They're just like you and I. They're a great family. So I'm honored to be a part of their ride. And next week we will have Kyle on here. So Kyle's going to be joining us on Chopper History next week to talk about the ride and motorcycles. Maybe we can get a little NASCAR involved. So that's next week. So here, once again, there's the stops. If you guys are anywhere near them, come on out and see us. And then also I don't have a banner thing for it, but I will be racing at the Tennessee Jam, which is Memorial Day weekend, right outside of Nashville. So that Memorial weekend, it's the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend.
That's
So
Sons of Speed, right?
yeah, Sons of Speed, the Tennessee Jam. So
They
that's,
call it the Tennessee Jam?
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I know. I should say like Sons of Speed Tennessee Jam, I guess. So it's a clay track. So me, Tom, and Sean will be racing at that on the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, right outside of Nashville. I think that was it on my list. So do you have anything else? Should we get right to Jay Allen?
Well, I do have one more bike for sale. We've done good. Everything we've sold, but I have a 93, it's a 92 or 93 FLHS.
It's the red one on our
red
website.
One, yeah, real clean bike.
Facebook.
Get on it and drive away. If you're interested, give us a call.
Yeah.
And I will be at the swap meet this weekend.
Yeah, this Sunday.
Stafford Springs swap meet. I'll be there. We've got a ton of stuff. And if anybody's looking for some used parts, I've got some front ends. I've got a little bit of everything. So we will be there.
All right. So let's just let's get to it and bring Jay on. Hey, Jay.
Hey,
Jay.
Good morning, everybody.
How's it going today?
Oh, it's going great. Finally, hey, it's riding weather. You guys are having bike nights. I rode my FXR last night. I mean, it's been a long winter. This is a good time.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't been too long for you, though, has it?
Dave, it has. It's been really cold down here. This has been exceptionally, I think it's been bad all over the West Coast. California's been inundated. Yeah, no, it's been miserable for us. Even though I know it's Arizona, it has been cold.
Did you hear us, Jay?
I hear you.
Yeah, it was freezing. I thought I was going 2,500 miles south. It was going to be warm, and it was cold.
It was, and that was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. So today here it's supposed to be 85.
Woo! That's going to be a great
Yeah,
day.
oh, it's unbelievable. I actually can wear a T-shirt to work today.
Yeah, me too.
First day since last fall, I've been able to wear a T-shirt.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
It's warm out today.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's so much going on. I'm really looking forward to this summer. I just, life's exciting for all of us. And I'm jacked. I'm ready. Winter's done. Let's get on with life and let's start rocking it.
Yeah. Hey, so what's your next event?
The TMMR, next month, the
okay.
Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival. Joe, are you coming, Dave? I know Jody's coming.
No, Jody's coming though.
Okay,
I'm
good.
gonna go the following week to the race, to the
Okay, gotcha.
Tennessee Jam.
Yeah.
Sons
Yeah.
of- I'm gonna fly down there for a few days for that.
Nice.
But we've got a lot of work here, and my customers are pretty patient, so I got to try to get out as much stuff as we can, and plus I like being here.
Oh yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. You are a two-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey. So what else? What else is on your schedule?
Well, again, last year, we had that racing in common. And last year I was so excited because I set a bunch of records the year before, but we had to go through all the motors, freshen them up. And we felt like we were really packing, last year. And to drive all the way to Bonneville in that old truck of mine at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And boy, the course was prepped. It was beautiful. Everybody was jacked, and it rained the day of the event. And again, since then, it rained out every event in not only Bonneville, but El Mirage. So I wasn't able to make one land speed racing pass in that year. So
Wow.
we are frothing at the mouth. We're hoping for good salt.
Yeah.
In May, in fact, when you and I are at that event, that will be the first El Mirage. So my partners are going to go there and test a couple of the bikes. And I'm going to the Isle of Man. I just bought my tickets for the Isle of Man. This will be my fifth time I'm on a race. I'm on a race team.
Jay.
What?
That's on my bucket list.
Oh, you're gonna love it. You're absolutely gonna be hooked. These guys are gladiators on motorcycles. And for any of you out there that are listening to the show, Google Isle of Man TT and hold on to your pants, because when you watch the footage, it's gonna freak you out.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, we had 5 fatalities in 1 week last year. It was a bad year for that.
No kidding.
Yeah. So Jay, I actually didn't mention the TMMR, which is so I hate saying that. I don't know why. But
It's long.
Yeah, because I figured you and I would talk about it. That so this is my first year going, which I'm pretty excited to go because I always hear good things about it. What do you think of that? It's the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival.
Yes, that's it. And I tell you what, me being the guy that's always served the people, I'm the guy that throws the party for the last 3 decades. I really like watching people and see how they respond to these events. And I'll tell you what, people are enchanted by the TMMR. I'll give you a heads up. They don't have good Wi-Fi there. So people at first are freaked out because, so many people are married to their phones, and pretty soon they leave their phone up in the cabin. And you just start hanging out, and it's a beautiful, immaculate property that Loretta Lynn owns. And Bill Dodge puts on a bike show like you. He inspires a lot of people, and the talent of bike builders is off the chart. And you can just go down and grab a cold one, and Jody stand in the river and take a swim.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a whole different aspect for me. But I think there's gonna be a lot of good people there.
Oh, you're gonna love it. One of the neat things that historically Loretta's house has a water wheel across from it with a river running through, turning the wheel. This goes back to the 1800s, but it was one of the first houses to ever have electricity. So imagine, David, people would come in their horses and buggies just to see what electricity looked like.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, is that not a cool story?
Yeah.
Now, are you MCing down there?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't have found a better guy.
Well, and I MC with Taylor Lynn, who it's really funny, but Taylor and Loretta are just two of the same. And Taylor, uh, um, she goes out with Trey, Twitty, Conway Twitty's grandson, and they do a tribute to Loretta and Conway. And I
Boy, that's
hear
a good
there's
history.
Yeah, wow.
their shows are sold out, and they're so talented. And again, they have that gene pool of Loretta and Conway. So, and she is Jody. You're going to love Taylor. She's just an angel. But I know we're going to get you up on stage too, and the three of us.
Yeah. I'm all for it, Jay. I said that. I told Carrie, I said, hey, if there's anything I can do, like give me a job, like I want to be a part of it. I want to help out.
Yeah,
Like, I'm good on the mic, like all that, which she knows.
yeah.
So hopefully you guys will be able to use me for different things. I know I'm going to be doing some stuff down at the river with DJ Terry. So him and I usually do stuff in Laconia together. So it's perfect. Like him and I have worked together several times already. So I'm really looking forward to that. Do you know what the dates are off the top, Jay?
I don't off the top of my head. I know it's mid-May for sure. I know you're good on that computer.
Yeah, so the 18th to the 21st of May, and that's Loretta's, which is the same thing, right outside of Nashville.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's gonna blow you away. It is heaven.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jay, I was just recently at your place, which I was overly impressed at. What a cool place you have. I told my dad, I said, you gotta go to Jay's place. So tell us a little bit about your building and
look at you. Oh wow. Well, that's where I'm calling. I'm upstairs there, and that's my house. It was built in 1904. And it used to be the auto parts store, and then where that white door is, that's where they worked on cars. Actually, it was a livery stable for horses. There's rings out in the sidewalk where you tie your horse up. And then when they went to cars, they put in 2 hydraulic lifts. And then upstairs is where I live is a boarding house for miners. It's a 100-foot hallway with all the numbered doors. And yeah, the old place has got a lot of soul, and it's a great place to come home to, because like you two, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a great place to come home to.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
I gotta someday, Jay, I'm gonna call you and say, Jay, I'm gonna come down and visit you for a few days,
And you and I are riding to Mexico.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be looking forward to that.
Yeah, you can't tell him though that you're going into Mexico.
Well, no, I would go with Jay.
Yeah.
I've got you, David. I'm telling you, I've got you. I take people all the time.
I will say the food was delicious when we went into Mexico.
Okay, so you told your dad you went.
He knows now.
Yeah. David, I walked past her on the sidewalk. He goes, "Don't tell my dad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jay, in front of your place, which I thought this picture is pretty cool because it's got over to the right is Brian's bike, which is a Dinah, and then my bike, Road Glide, and then Velarde's bike, which is on the left. And it was a wicked cool chopper that he made that's like totally got funky handlebars, like just a wicked cool chopper. And then your car in the middle, and then I was hoping that I got your bus, which is to the right. Tell us about the old cars that you have.
I've got a 1954 Greyhound Scenic Cruiser, and I've had that bus for like 40 years. David, I can put 4 motorcycles in the belly of that bus and close them up, and you'd never know they were there.
No kidding.
You gotta send me a picture of it because I only have it like cut off. Because I was telling my brother about it, because my brother loves that stuff, and I was showing him that old Suburban that you got like down a little ways, which I'll see if I can upload a picture quick. About the vehicles all parked along there.
Yeah, they say this is one of the most photographed streets in the state of Arizona, and our goal was to, I had a lot of those old pumps and stuff, and so we brought it back to life so people could see what it used to be like back in the day, and they love it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Now, how about that Indian sign that you've got on the side of the building?
Guess what, Dave? We had some 80-mile-an-hour winds, and it's been up there for 15 years. It blew it off. Somebody stole my Indian sign.
No kidding.
I have to have another one made. Somebody stole the damn sign. I tell you.
Where was it when they stole it? Out in the street?
No. My friends had put it back by my gate behind, in the backside of my house, and somebody saw it and went and got it and took it. We posted it on social media, in hopes that, we did a blast on social media that they would return it, but it hasn't happened.
You think it was some illegals?
I don't know. Frankly, I doubt it, because they're on their whole mission down here is to get through, not to stop. You know what I mean? They're heading.
I'll bet. Well, they don't stop at your boarding house, do they?
No, they do not. But Mexico, I love it. It's sketchy down there a little bit, but God, the food is so good. The people are so sweet. I get a lot of things fabricated there. Hey, there's a major piston company down in Agua Prieta, Mexico, that build racing pistons, and I'll get you the information on them. They do an amazing job. They're based out of Colorado, but they actually make them in Mexico.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
How far, Jay? I actually was a little. I thought not that you fought, but I thought you were like legit on the Mexican border. But Naco is actually border, right?
Yeah.
And how far is your town? Like 10 miles?
No, about 5 miles to
5 miles.
Naco. Yeah.
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 And so your little town is called Lowell. Is that?
Yeah. This street is called Lowell. Yeah, Lowell, Arizona.
Yeah, it's very cool. There's a whole bunch of like here's the Suburban.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
That belongs to my buddy Jim, and that's in front of the old Sprouse Ritz store, which used to be the 510, 5 and 10, the 5 and dime store.
Yeah, people don't even know what a 5 and dime store is anymore, Jay.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
The 5 and 10 store. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. It was in the center of town when I was a kid.
So here's some more cool, like your town was just so cool, like this little main drag that you had. So tell us about these 3 vehicles.
Yeah, the truck belongs to my friend Nell, and it's got a little V8 in it. And the yellow taxi, Dave, that's a 48 Chrysler with a straight 8 in it.
Oh, wow.
And a HydroFlow transmission, however that worked.
Yeah.
And then you got a 1935 Chevy behind that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
These are all people that live in the town?
Well, no, those 2 of those belong to my buddy, and the cab belongs to me.
Oh, the cab's yours, huh?
Yeah, they're almost like props on the street to give it that look and feel.
They are like props. Yeah. It was really neat how you had everything like set up, all these old cars that like legit look like they were parked there, and the storefronts.
I have met people from all over the world out on this sidewalk in front of the house where you took the picture. And sometimes people go, they got this look of surprise and go, "What is this, man? What is this?" And they go, "What do you mean, what is it?" They go, "Is this a movie set or what's going on here?"
Yeah.
They love it. And that's cool, because me, I'm all about the history, even with the motorcycles. I'm constantly trying to teach the customers where we came from, and that's what we're doing on this street, and people are digging it, so it's good. There were such great times.
Yeah, this is Brian and I had to take a picture in front of the
flying saucer, the low sign.
Yeah. Your whole street was so cool. Just a really neat, like you were back in time.
Yeah, it is. It's like going back in time. It really is.
Yeah. I saw the pictures of your little showroom with all your awards and everything. I mean, so cool.
Yeah.
You're
lucky that you have a place that you can display all that stuff.
Boy, Dave, this place is 10,000 square feet.
Really?
Yeah. And I live here alone. It's kind of crazy,
Yeah, no kid. Wow, that's a big building.
It's huge.
So Jay, you had a ton of motorcycles where I was like, so I couldn't decide which one do you like the best?
I hate that question, Jody.
Sorry.
And Dave, I know you relate to this. If somebody said pick one bike, I'd probably just blow my brains out because I couldn't make the decision.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you kick your knuckle, the 41 knuck to the curb? But then again, I think my little FXR with a 124 and a Baker 6-speed is about the funnest thing I ever rode. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough, but I love all. I love all motorcycles, and I tell people I don't care if you ride a Honda Rebel or what it is. And scooters and mini bikes and man, I'm in love with it all. I really am. And I'd ride that pink Vespa in my garage, Jody. I'd ride that across the country. I wouldn't be ashamed.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have any pictures of the M50? I just finished.
Yeah.
I just finished full restoration on a 1965 Harley Davidson M50.
I've got an M50 downstairs.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
I just did a full restoration, and I'm going to put it in my house.
No.
Oh, that's excellent. I need a gas cap if you have an extra one.
You know what? I don't. In fact, I had the one gas cap that I had was all faded and everything. We ended up painting it.
Okay, yeah, because they're that weird plastic and they're
right, exactly.
Yeah.
What, you need anything else?
He's got a couple donut bikes.
I got 2 more donut bikes.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think so. I think it's just the gas cap. And this one's original paint, and it's just an old M50. You know me at the Broken Spoke. If I found a good deal on a bike, it was something I could hang up in one of the bars.
Oh yeah, right, for sure.
Yeah. So tell us about the Broken Spokes.
Man, it's funny, Dave, you're part of getting me inducted into the Motorcycle Hall of Fame.
Well, you deserve it.
And so I've been talking to Leah about the bio, and we were talking about bikes and things like that, and it's just crazy that we had 5 broken spokes, but I started in Sturgis, and I got to be represented in Daytona, and then I've got to go to Laconia, New Hampshire. It's the oldest rally, and it's going to be 100 this year, you guys.
Yeah,
And then I went down to Myrtle Beach, and then I did the 600-acre campground, and then I did portable events out of 18-wheelers in New Orleans and Iowa and all over the country. And but that's kind of behind me now. I've been out of the Broken Spoke as an owner for the last 5 years, but luckily they love me representing on stage, and I get to see you guys. I love my family, and if they took that away from me, I wouldn't have any purpose. Honest to God, I would be a lost soul without you guys.
Well, hey, listen, Jay, you've been at it a long time.
Oh,
you're a part of our whole world,
and I'm honored to be a part of that family. I really am. Man, I tell you, if somebody ever broke into my telephone and saw all the pictures and the friends, they go, I wished I could be that guy. You know what I mean? I'm so blessed. I can't tell you.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Laconia, are you going to come out this year?
I'm going to the Isle of Man, but I might make it back for the last 4 big days. That's where I'm up in the air about right now. But boy, I really, if I don't make the 100th, I'm going to feel like I really missed something.
Well, this year, obviously is the 100th, right? And it's also the 45th anniversary of the Hamsters.
Oh my God, you guys have been around that long.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a big deal up there, and if you decide to come up, get a hold of me because we've got all the stuff going on.
I will.
Yeah, Jay, you should come up for Thursday. The bikini contest at
Naswa.
Yeah,
right. You see it, don't you?
Yeah. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, would love to have you come out on the dock with me.
Hey, and if you guys talk to Cynthia Macris, tell her, we haven't seen each other in years, but tell her I always think about her, and just give her my regards and my love, would you?
Yeah, I definitely will. I was just talking to her last week, and her mother Hope, she's 98. She's gonna be 98.
Oh my God.
She's been to 98 Laconias.
That is insane.
She's never missed one.
Really?
Oh my God.
That's unbelievable. I'm like, Cynthia, you need to advertise that or make
that's huge
deal. Yeah, that's pretty cool because when a rally or an event gets that old, there's nobody anymore that's been to all of them. And for her to say she's almost been to 100 of them, first of all, 98's huge anyways. And then to say you've been, because she grew up there, to all of them, that's pretty cool.
It's way cool. Over to Bonneville, I walked into the Black and White on an off day. There was nothing happening, Dave, because of the rain.
Yeah.
And these 2 old birds, I mean, I thought I was old. They look older than me. And I walk in, and these 2 old salty dogs are sitting at the bar. And I asked them, I said, guys, how long have you been coming to Bonneville? And they said, 50 years. We've never missed one in 50 years. And I asked them if they knew Burt Monroe. I mean, everyone knows the world's fastest Indian. And if you haven't seen it, you've got to watch it.
Oh yeah.
But
Such a good
I
movie.
said, tell me about Burt Monroe. And they told me one thing that was kind of tragic. You know, he went 9 times to Bonneville, and on the 9th time, for some reason, they did not let him race. His
Really?
final time in Bonneville, that poor man did not get to make a pass down that magical salt.
No
And
kidding. I thought he only went once.
No,
he
yeah,
went 9 times.
Wow, no kidding.
yeah, that's pretty cool. It's cool to hear stories firsthand like that.
Yeah, that's it, Jody. Firsthand to
Yeah.
touch something that touched it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Dennis Manning has quite a few stories about Burt too.
Oh yeah, like how he hit on his wife when he was out
Yeah,
looking for
exactly.
a
I know it, huh?
As they say in New Zealand, that guy liked the birds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell us about the bikes you're going to run in Bonneville.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. A lot of people like Sodium Distortion. They always come out with these cool, weird, lay down. I mean, some of the stuff. You go, how does that thing work?
Yeah.
And you know, for me, it's having taken what I have and going faster every year and improving upon it. You know, mechanically upgrading it as well as, and as you guys know, the condition of the salt is such a big factor out there. And I mean, that's going to kind of make you or break you. Even if you got a stellar bike, if you can't put it to the ground, you're screwed. But no, I'm running the 2 Dynas. Now, Ralph Hudson, God rest his soul, he passed away 2 years ago. He crashed and died. But I have the body. He built me a body. And the only reason he built it, David, is because it was for a V twin. He would not have built it if it was for a metric bike because he didn't want any competition. And so we're trying to get that bike figured out, but I've been up to 235 on it at 2/3 throttle. So we've got something going on with the front end. So we're going to lower the front end, maybe a little ballast. And then I'm running that naked Dyna. And after 4 years, trying to just crack 200 on a naked bike is incredible. And after 4 years, I ran a 208 on it.
208?
On a naked Dyna.
Good for
So
you.
those are the 2 bikes I'm taking out. And my partner Dustin's taking out a Rocket 3, a Triumph. Rocket 3. So we got 3 bikes.
Yeah. Tell us about the Dyna that you ran 208.
Yeah, you know, I bought it from a kid here in town, and I said, you're going to think this is crazy, but it's my goal that this will be the world's fastest Dyna in its class. And he's like, what are you talking about, man? And as I sit here, it is the world's fastest bike in its class with an average of 206.5 with 2 passes. And
Has it got a turbo on it?
It's got a Garrett 660. And it's got a 120 S&S. And, you know, this is what cracks me up, Dave. I know there's some really hardy transmissions out there, but Hiro Kiyoso, who we all respect, who's so fast, I'm running a stock Harley 6-speed in that bike. But don't get me wrong. I got a few ripped up Harley 6-speeds in my shelf downstairs with teeth all over the place. So, you know, they don't last forever for sure. But I'm running 2 Dynas, and the body bike, they're both pretty mechanically, they're almost identical. They're putting out close to 300 horsepower, but sometimes we find out that's a bad thing. We need to take some horsepower out of them.
Right. That it's not always about the most horsepower. It's getting it to the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Jody, do you guys, because I don't see your show all the time, but you tell your story about coming out, you and your dad, and because, you know, for all of us out there, and I haven't missed a Bonneville since the first one I went to. In fact, now at Dennis's event, Dave, I'm the only one that's never missed one. And
no kid.
You guys coming out was one of the highlights of that whole event. And it was really sad. I know, you know, again, Jody's so diverse and it costs so much money and it's so far away. You know, I know it can't last forever, but man, we sure miss you guys on the salt. I mean that sincerely.
I would love to be back there, Jay. I would love to do it again. And I will. It's just a matter of time. But as you know, it's like there's so many different things that I want to do. And there's only so much time. And I got to work. You know, like I don't make money.
I hear you. But to hear your name on the radio, Jody Perowitz is now on the course. I go running out to the edge as fast as I can. I got my ear like this, waiting to hear you come by. You know, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And for anyone out there that doesn't know about this or what happened, that man made sure that his baby girl was safe. But I've never seen anyone so brilliantly, systematically walk her up over 200 miles an hour. Her first time she ever went out to the Bonneville Salt Flats. I've never seen anybody do that ever since or before. And especially, you have to be the fastest woman in the world on a Harley, are you not?
Yeah. Yeah. I am.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I hopefully hold that record for a long time. But I know that when somebody tries to break it, or I hopefully not succeeds, that's just going to be like, oh, well, I got to come back now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't have somebody showing me up.
And you know, you guys, David, I was telling Jody, everyone wonders, well, what's this Parowitz posse going to be like? You know,
Oh,
this
yeah,
world famous bike builders coming out to the Salt, you know, and you guys were so kind. You loaned everybody tools. You were instantly just brought in the womb and part of our family. And whether you're there or not, you are part of our racing family, and you always will be.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you,
Well,
Jay.
you know,
I mean that.
we really treasured those years, and you know, of course, Dave Sylvia was such a big, you know,
Man.
and and you know, little Ron, you know, he was moving on, and it was so hard to keep the team together,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, it would take up my whole summer. Would be working on the bike, testing up in Loring, you know,
Yes.
getting it ready, and you know, it just got to be so much work, you know, getting it all together, and then the money,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
expensive,
Oh man.
yeah,
you know.
it's a minimum of $10,000 for us to go to Bonneville, a minimum,
To get a piece of paper.
right? But
Yeah, yeah.
Most expensive piece of paper I've ever owned.
you
But you
know,
know,
I
David,
wouldn't
what
trade
a
it
lot.
for anything.
Go ahead.
No, I said I wouldn't have traded it for anything. The
Oh
experience.
no. But you know what a lot of people out there don't know about you, so I can share this is if you're building them a bike, I guarantee you I would put I'd put the title of this house in writing that that bike is going to run great. It's going to be reliable, dependable. You know, Indian Larry was like that. I watched him just ride the dog snot out of his motorcycles because they worked. And you and I know a lot of builders in this industry, custom bike builders, which I call you one of the pioneers because you and Arlen and Ronnie and all these, you started this whole thing. But when Dave Perowitz works on something, trust me, it's going to work. Whether he's taking his daughter to Bonneville and she accomplished something that nobody thought was possible, or if you're just building a motorcycle, you do it one way and it's always the right way.
Well,
And
you know, motorcycles are made to be ridden. You know, you can make a really cool motorcycle, but you know, if you can't get out and ride it, you know,
What's the point?
yeah, yeah,
I
and
know, but you and I, we all know that there's a lot of cool looking
Yeah.
bikes out there that are on the side of the road a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah, you know, that's partly I gained so much respect for like a handful of guys on my last
Mhm.
trip to Arizona because they were
Yeah.
on these ratty Troppas that were just like cool bikes, look like straight from the 70s, and they rode them. I mean, Danger Dan is an animal on that shovel head. Like he
Oh
just
my God.
no mercy for that thing. And then even like Velarde, he was what a good both of those guys are good riders. And then Al, like he was on a little rigid shovel head. I mean, there was no holding back for these guys, and that is cool in my book. I mean, to be riding 2,000 miles on these rigid oil leaking bikes like that are just cool. Like those guys.
And they don't baby them. I got to admit, I baby my stuff a little more. I don't ride like Danger Dan.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My 41 knucklehead tells me how fast I can ride it.
Oh, I'll bet, I'll bet it
Danger
does.
Dan would kill that bike.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean they're going 85 miles an hour. They're doing wheelies. They're doing donuts in the dirt. Like there is no mercy on these bikes. But I
I
mean,
love their spirit. That was a lot of fun. And Jody, I don't know if you told him, but we went up to a place called Juniper Flats, and I mean they were riding rigid frame bikes up these dirt roads with all the little ripples and the washouts. And I mean, rocks everywhere. Brad Gregory almost went off the side of the mountain. Do you remember that?
Yeah, like those.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was. Oh, there you go. That was so much fun.
yeah. When you said you were like, oh, this road's kind of rough, and I was like, I don't really want to ride my road glide up there. No, I'll pass. I'll ride in the truck with you. I was thinking, thank God I did. I was like, I don't know if I could have handled those roads, but those guys just rode them like nothing. They were flying up the top of that mountain.
And you get some good pictures too. You get
Yeah.
some really good pics.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was beautiful on the top. It was cool looking. It overlooked Mexico and Arizona. It was beautiful up the top of that.
You know, David, to have Jody down here and Michael Lichter here,
Yeah.
it was like coming home. I mean, it was so cool to have them in my town. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
It was so much fun. What a great weekend.
Yeah.
Jay, so when I was at your place, I took a picture of this record for I think it's your 218.
Yeah.
230.
Yeah,
Tell us about
230.
this record.
Yeah, that was on the body bike. That was on the body bike. And ironically, if I'm correct on that particular pass, Dave, when I got off the course, I exited, and damn if I didn't pull up to Chris Rivas and the guys from SNS.
Yeah.
And they go, "What'd you do?" I go, "I have no clue. I just pulled up," and Chris Rivas yelled out, I think I ran a 232.785 on that pass. And it was so exciting. So exciting, you know.
Man, that's unbelievable. Has anybody, okay, so by now, who else is running other than Hero? Is anyone else have run any close to those speeds?
No, Hero is the one guy that's, in the V twin world.
Right.
Hero's the guy. He's something else. I think, God, I remember he ran a 229 naked on his bike.
Wow.
And I said, Hero, what was that like? I always ask someone when they run faster I've ever been, what was it like? And he goes, oh, the throttle is hard to move the throttle. He is a madman. And but when I blew up a transmission, I called him and I had one there the next day. He is the sweetest man, and he is a kamikaze racing man. He is just brilliant. So his bikes are gorgeous.
Is he ready to go again this year?
I believe he is. and I don't know. I think he's crashed 3 times.
Yeah, we were there. We were there for all 3.
I got to be honest. I don't know that I would keep racing if I crashed as many times with him.
Yeah.
He just keeps going.
He's a madman, and he's brilliant. He's brilliant, and God, and his smile is just infectious. And all his guys from Japan, imagine making it back on the salt from Japan. They are so happy. They just got these big grins on their faces, and it's really cool. And he's definitely one of the inspirations to me, and he's been very helpful. Whenever we need some knowledge, we go to Hero, and he shares it.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Jay, what year was it you first broke 200?
Jody, I don't even remember. That's a good question because I don't keep good track of time. But it's funny. I had a picture. I was standing with Hero, Al Lamb, and Ralph Hudson and me.
Boy, and fast guys.
Well, I was the slowest of the fastest. And I looked at the picture and I said, what do you see about that picture? And they go, what? And I go, I'm the slowest of the fastest.
Yeah.
But hey, I proudly say that. I gladly take the honor of being the slowest of the fastest.
I think that the last year that we were there, I was 17, right? And I think that's the first year that you went over 200. I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
Somebody called in. I had to hit the little red button.
It's okay. I forget that.
No, I think it was 2017 was the first year that you went 200, over 200.
Boy, it was sure a big deal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People don't have any idea what 200 miles an hour is like. That magic number. I mean, how many guys did we race with that have been trying for years and years and years to hit 200?
Well, that's why what you guys accomplished, Dave, is a testament to your due diligence and how you do things. I know my buddy Randy Speranza, and I hit it long before he didn't. He'd been land speed racing much longer than me. But I said, Randy, what did it cost you to finally hit it? He said $500,000.
Wow.
Wow.
It cost him $500,000 till he finally cracked that 200 mark.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Here's a cool picture I found with Pete Hill, who drag
Oh,
racing legend. Such a cool picture out on the salt, and Wink Ella, which
yeah.
which such important resources to us.
Big time, big time. And I just saw Pete and Jackie Hill out in Myrtle just before Daytona.
Oh,
And,
cool.
90 years old, David. That's going to be you and Jody. He's 90 years old. The shop's open and he's building knuckles like crazy.
And he was he still riding?
Yeah, he's still riding. He doesn't look any different.
Wow.
Honest to God.
Yeah.
They're hoping to come out to Bonneville. I don't know that he'll race or not. He did last time. I think he brought his bike, but they're hoping to make it out to Bonneville, and he's still building bikes and such an inspiration.
Yeah, they're such cool people. They have such
really,
good stories.
Oh.
Really good. She's funny too.
Well, and like so many people, they always say behind every successful man's a good woman, and I don't think he could have done it without Jackie. She was an integral part of his racing, and they were so popular back in the day that they would fill they would fill the whole racetrack just because Pete Hill was going to be there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sold out.
Yeah.
They're icons, they're legends, and yet they're still in the game at 90 years old.
Yeah, that shows a passion that they
Oh my God.
do. Love to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jay, we had somebody ask what your first motorcycle was.
A Suzuki 50. I paid $8 for it. And the guy goes, "Hey, you want to buy a bike for $8?" And I said, "Well, what's the first question?" Well, does it run? And he goes, "It runs, but it won't go." I go, "What do you mean it runs, but it won't go?" He says, so I go up there, I got the $8. He starts it, and I go, "I'll take it." So I coasted it down to Mr. Drayton's house. Now, Mr. Drayton worked on all our go-karts. He was the magic man with Briggs and Strattons and McCulloughs and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Was that
He
in
said,
Bisbee, in the town you're in?
No, this is in Southern Cal, in LA. And he said, "Steve, grab me a flathead screwdriver and a pair of pliers." Davey took the little set screw out from the baffle, unscrewed the baffle, pulled it out, and it was just plug solid closed. And he fired that thing and ring, ding, 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 ding. And so I was at 12 years old. I was 12, and I rode that bike to school and stashed it every day. But one night I was riding it and I got hit by a 1963 Chevy Impala, and it broke my femur, but I didn't walk for a year.
Wow.
But the good news is when I was 16, I got $4,000 or something. I bought a 59 Sportster right off the rip.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first bike, was a 64 Sportster. I still remember the VIN on it,
Oh, and Dave, I had a right leg. My quadricep, Jody, was like a turkey from kicking that damn thing. I mean, I could literally, I was like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that Bionic movie. I could go up and say, "Hey, bro, you want me to kick it over for you? I got a bionic leg. It can just go nonstop."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Your mom must have been paranoid when you bought a motorcycle when you were 16.
Well, she kicked me out of the house. Yeah. Yeah, that's when I started becoming a man. I had to get my own place at 16.
Yeah. I rode Sportsters for 10 years before I got my first electric start bike. And, it was like, holy shit, this is something. You just press the button and it starts. You don't have to kick it anymore.
What was it? The first electric start?
Yeah. What year was that, David?
My first bike was in 1969. I was 18. I just got out of high school, and then I bought a shovel head in 79. That was my first big twin in 79.
Wow. Yeah.
Start.
Boy.
Yeah.
Too bad you didn't still have it.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of them.
Yeah, I had a 62 Panhead I took such pride in, and and I finally got an 87 Heritage. And I always said you were a pussy if you needed a push button till
Yeah.
I became one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, absolutely. You know, in 1985, I bought an 82 FXR, and
Oh, wow. Shovel head FXR.
I gave it a little facelift, and I'll never forget the first time I rode it. I said, wow, this is unbelievable for a Harley. It's smooth. It's got
Yeah.
speeds. It was like a whole new world.
Yeah. You know, let me ask you, David. I mean, you're the guy to ask because the Dyna kind of replaced the FXR, right?
Yeah.
What's the better bike of the two?
Oh, absolutely FXR.
Yeah,
No
I
question
mean,
about
that's
it.
not even, yeah, it's not
Wow.
a question. Why do you think you have both of them, don't you?
Yeah, but I wanted to hear it from somebody like David. You
Yeah,
know, I
no,
mean, I can ride it.
Do you think the FXI is better?
Well, to be honest with you, I just put a fresh motor in my FXR because I've decided I had to make a decision. I've got a Dyna. These are for street bikes. I have a 143 thanks to S&S in a Dyna. And then I have my little, they call it the Christmas bike because it's red and gold flake
yeah,
with green pinstripe. Everyone says it's a Christmas bike, but I've got the 124, which I swear by those 124s with a
yeah,
Baker 6-speed. And I've decided the FXR with the 124. That's going to be my girlfriend. That I am in a relationship now.
yeah.
I think the same thing too, Jay. Sometimes I'm more in a relationship with motorcycles.
Yeah, you know, I love FXRs, and you know, between Jody and I, we probably got 4 or 5 of them, and
Oh,
you know, I've been buying new Softail for the last few years. You know, I've got a 21 now, and I love it. You know, it's got a
yeah.
124 in it, and
Oh, damn.
I love the bike. But you know what? I'm going to build for next year. I'm going to build a twin cam FXR, and I'm going to
Yeah.
stretch it, and I'm going to make a digger out of it, just like the old days
Ooh.
that I can ride.
Because the Softail's
Yeah.
not that cool.
Yeah,
You know,
No.
it's just not that cool.
yeah.
Well, I remember when that Softail first came out, though, they couldn't make them fast enough.
Oh,
Remember
absolutely.
they were orange and cream colored?
Yeah,
And boy, you couldn't, they were hard to get a hold of.
yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, RJ, we don't want to take up too much of your time. We really
Hey, I've
appreciate.
enjoyed my morning with you guys. Hey, big shout out to Bobby at Indian Larry. He gave me this coffee cup. I got to
Yeah,
give him a plug. I
love
love that
Bobby.
man.
So it just so happens that I got Aiden's hat on today, which obviously we love Bobby too. Such a great guy, and just he's funny, and his bear hugs. You think you're gonna get crushed, but great guy.
Oh my God, I thought he broke my back. And Indian Larry being a good friend of ours, David.
Yeah,
I feel so lucky to ride the wall of death with him and go film him. That time I filmed him and I rented a helicopter. It almost blew him and Paul off their bikes.
Yeah,
We didn't think about the prop wash, but the Indian Larry memories, and to think that somebody's keeping that legacy alive, because people like yourself and Larry and people that really made an impression and inspired people like me. I don't want to see you guys ever go away. You know what I mean? I want people to remember them forever.
yeah.
I agree, and that's partly why I started this show, is because there's so many great stories out there, and you got to hear them firsthand. So
Yeah, well, good for you, Jody.
Yeah, all this to go back
Thank
on,
you.
listen to, and it's good history.
Yeah.
You know, I'll start talking to somebody, a recent friend or something, and I'll start telling them stories. In fact, when Brian was here,
Yeah. So Brian
Helm was here, and I'd start telling him stories, and sometimes I think in the back of my mind, I wonder if this guy thinks I'm full of shit. Some of these stories I'm telling, but I got plenty of stories, I'll tell you.
Oh, I love the one of Arlen and you getting Arlen in the limo.
Oh, yeah.
And David, you got a lot more that I haven't heard. We got to spend more time together.
No, there's plenty.
Yeah, there is a lot, because he still tells me stories that I didn't know. It's like we'll be out stacking wood at his house and it sparks a story.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them.
Did I ever tell you the story about the first time I went to Sturgis?
No.
I get a call from Alan. This was in 1977. I get a call
Hey,
from Alan, and he says, "Hey, I heard about this rally in South Dakota. It's called Sturgis, and I think we're gonna go. You want to go?" And I'm like, "Wow, that's a long ways for me." He says, "Well, listen, if you want to fly out," he says, "I'll bring you a bike." I said, "Okay."
what a guy.
So I flew out. Alan brought a bike, and that was our first time in Sturgis. We stayed at the Sturgis Town Park. We all camped out.
Wasn't that? I thought you guys rode, and that's when you got cowboy boots.
No, that was years later.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Dave, the first time I met Arlen was at a gas station in Laytonville, California, which really inspired me to even be. He made a big impression on me when I met him. But I
Yeah.
remember his cowboy boots. He had the
Oh,
most badass exotic. He looked like James Dean on a bike, man. He really did.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Well, in
That was
79,
somewhere around 80.
the whole crew from California rode out, and they met in Denver at Alan Fatlin's place. So
Yeah.
I flew there, and they had a bike for me, and we all rode from there. Of course, it took us 2 or 3 days because they wanted to stop at every bar. And we stopped in Lusk, Wyoming. I bought my first pair of cowboy boots.
Do you still have them?
I still have them.
All right.
It was
That's
Sea
cool.
Turtle, which you can't buy anymore.
No, Yeah, in fact, you might have some feds show up at your house now because you said it on this podcast.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he just incriminated himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He's in trouble.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
God,
No,
guys, it's been a blast, and
Oh, shoot. Hold on, Jay. All right, can we hear you now? No. We lost your sound, Jay. It was too good to be true. It was
Yeah,
like
I
a
know.
good audio and video the whole time. We lost your voice, Jay. You might have to put him back down. Well, I'm gonna go over to the comments. Did you see Mad Stoic said his 3 favorite people? 3 great
is
people
there?
met.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go, Jay. All right, you're back for a second.
Yeah,
I can't see anything. I'm just seeing letters. But
Yeah.
guys, that was a blast. It was great talking to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks for
absolutely.
coming on. I just while you were kind of fixing it, Mad Stork said the 3 greatest humans I ever met in the motorbike world.
Oh, what a compliment, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that man, and he'll be at the TMMR. I guarantee you.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
can't wait to hang out with Ken.
Yeah.
So Ken, I'm putting you on the spot. He's supposed to bring me either a bicycle or a little mini bike or something, or he's gonna have to ride on the back of his own motorcycle. So that I can get around.
Well, he brought. I think he brought more than one bike, but he brought a really nice old Indian or something. Was an Indian or Harley? Just a really nice, super old vintage bike. You could just hear that thing coming and smell the oil burning on it. It was awesome.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Very cool guy. One of my favorite people.
Got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, Jay. Well, thank you very much for coming.
All right, you guys.
And I will see you in a couple weeks.
Look forward, man. All my love, you guys. Take care. God
All
bless.
right.
Good talking to you.
Thanks, Jay.
See you.
Enjoyed it.
All right, guys. So that was our show for today, brought to you by Indian Motorcycles and Lawn Tigers. Don't forget, next week we have Kyle Petty on. So we're going to talk about the Kyle Petty ride, which I'm going to be going on here, the stops. If any of you guys are in any of these areas and want to come out and see us, make sure you do. There's the dates, the cities. If you go on their website, which is KylePettyCharityRide.com, it has specific times. And when they say specific times, it's legit. They say noon, we will be there at noon. This is the most organized, well planned out ride I've ever been on. Like, it is so easy and fun. So if any of you guys are in the area of Utah, that's pretty much we're making a big loop, and want to come out, that's the stop. So next week we'll have Kyle Petty on, and he'll be able to tell us more, and we can chit chat about different things. If any of you guys have any questions for him and want to ask ahead of time, just send us a DM Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys comment, like, and share on our posts so we can keep bringing you guys videos. Bike nights, third Wednesday of June, July, and August here in Halifax.
Yep.
Anything else?
Well, I guess we'll just see you all next week.
Yeah. So next week it's on. See you guys later. Have a good weekend.